What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 6, episode 13. So let's get into it. So before we get into it, we gonna get a little spicy, just a little bit. And honestly, y'all, this is just my commentary on Sofia Vergara and Alexia being on Watch What Happens Live with Andy. It was so awkward. And mainly the person that made it awkward was Sofia, because you could tell that she was irritated or seemed uncomfortable being on the stage with Alexia, a housewife, especially because she didn't understand. She doesn't watch Real Housewives of Miami. So all the people that were calling in, like, you know, they normally have callers calling in, were asking Alexia questions. There were people asking Sofia questions. But y'all know, if you're a fan of a TV show, because, you know, Sofia's on a press tour because she's doing the Griselda Blanco. It's like a 6-episode series on Netflix. It was just released like either yesterday or the day before yesterday. And you know, she's doing a press tour, but like her facial expression, she looks so out of it. You know, Alexia ends up telling us that Marisol really doesn't like Nicole and Adriana, but I'd rather hear that from Marisol. I feel like we already know Marisol doesn't like Nicole, but I think Alexia is putting 20 on 10 in all honesty. And then they actually talked about that fight that Alexia and Adriana got into at the airport in Miami. I think I reported on this because when she was telling the story, I remember reading about it, so I think I probably did it in a spicy corner. But just a brief overview. Alexia, Julia, Adriana, and Kiki were on the same plane coming back from BravoCon. And what Alexia was saying on Watch What Happens Live is she was pissed because around the time that BravoCon was airing or was going on, the new season of Miami that we're talking about now was airing, and she saw the episode where her and Adriana had like called a truce, and then she was talking trash about her on the way to the New Horizons party and saying all those bad things about her, that Alexia was like, I was irritated and pissed off with her, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna start nothing at this airport. But I thought about it the whole ride to Miami. So when we got to Miami, it was over. Like when I saw her, we just got to arguing. And I believe her. Because the weird thing is, like, this season I've been kind of agreeing more with Alexia, and that's scary because I don't agree with this lady most of the time, but it makes sense. Like, she thought her and Adriana were good, and then you see her talking trash about you. Once y'all make truths, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed, and when I see you, we addressing it. So yeah, it was interesting. But it was just like Sofia just looked so irritated, and I think Sofia wanted what Nicki Minaj, Kevin Hart, and Julia Roberts had. Those were the most recent celebrity interviews I've seen on Watch What Happens Live where it was just the person by themselves. And I think Sofia felt like, girl, I should have been by myself, not with this housewife. But I was just like, and I think about it, Sofia is well known enough to have her own little sit down with Andy, but that's just not how it goes. And I think what they were trying to do is, like, you know, Miami and, you know, Real Housewives of Miami, Griselda Blanco used to run drugs through that seaport. Maybe they was just trying to they thought the correlation was there, but I guess not. All right, y'all, so let's get into this review. So the girls are going to Mexico City. Everyone is excited. Again, I would love to go to Mexico City. After what they just showed, it looks like it would be a good time. We find out that it's Julia and Kiki's birthday, and so the ladies are going to try their best to celebrate them. Nicole is not there on this episode. We see her in the beginning of the episode. Her and Anthony are looking at tile to put in the house, but she's not there mainly because she has to work. And she couldn't find somebody to, like, take her shift. But we know Nicole got, like, a private jet, so sis gonna be there either way. But she's not here on this episode. So like I said, it's Julia and Kiki's birthday. And, you know, the vibes are vibing. Everyone's excited to go to Mexico. They get to Mexico. They all pile into the Sprinter. Lisa keeps reminding them that she got to take a call for Lenny because they're now trying to settle the divorce. And everyone's like, okay, girl, just go to the back of the bus. I think the ladies have reached their limit with Lisa because they didn't even really ask her, like, are you okay? Like, what were y'all discussing? I think they've all realized that any any advice that they give Lisa is going to be met with her defensiveness in an argument. So nobody was paying her any attention. Marisol asks Gertie, like, how did the surgery go? How are you doing? And she lets us know they got clear margins this time. She healed up great, but she does have to have chemo. And everyone's like, really? Like, for real? And she was like, yeah. Because remember, she was supposed to score a 20. You have to score a 25 or lower, and she scored a 29. So the doctor suggested her to do chemo, but they said she's all cleared to be able to drink and have a good time on this trip. So they're all excited. They pull up to the hotel. It's a pretty nice hotel. Alexia's room is really nice. That's the only room they showed us, but it had a beautiful balcony, like you could walk onto it, and the skyline that you could see was actually really nice. So everyone's really impressed. They get to the her room. They have a guy in there that's making drinks for them. They all go and sit out on the balcony. I don't know what was happening with Marisol. I don't know if she was having a hot flash. I don't know if she was hungover. And you know, when you hungover and you hot, it's a mess. But she was dying throughout this argument between Alexia and Larsa. She was putting ice packs on her head, her neck. She was laid out on the couch. You had Julia and Adriana fanning her, trying to make sure she was okay while everybody was arguing. It was a mess. But pretty much Larsa gets mad at Alexia because Alexia is running down the itinerary of what they're going to be doing. She's like, we're going to go see Saint Guadalupe in the church, in the cathedral. They're going on a boat ride. They're there to do pride. Like, she's like, we have a lot of things. Alexia's like, I have a lot of things planned for us. So Larsa chimes in that, yeah, my tequila's down here, and I definitely want you guys to taste it, to give me your thoughts on what y'all think about the bottle. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then Larsa says, you know what, Alexia, you really hurt my feelings when you said that every time we're together or every time I have a party, it seems like I'm hawking a product at you guys. And that really hurt me. And Alexia was like, okay, my bad. She went and hugged her, but she was like, I'm the only one that had the balls to say it to you because that's kind of how everyone feels. So then Larsa says, well, you know what, Alexia, I don't have a Todd to help me. So Alexia takes offense and she's like, what is that supposed to mean? Because you don't know what Todd does for me. And then Gertie also says, like, yeah, that's offensive because it's not like she was with Todd all her life. And I think I think someone said Alexia was like on her own for like 23 years, like before she got with, you know, like, we know she was with the first baby daddy who was the cocaine cowboy. And I think there was like a gray period where it was just her and the boys. And then she met Herman. And then, you know, Herman passes away. And then there's a lull period. And then she meets Todd. So it's not like she has someone always with her. But we can't act like majority of these ladies aren't kept women. Larsa's one. Alexia's one, Lisa's one. I don't think Marisol is one, but Adriana was one at one time, and even Julia with the way she be living her life. So I was just like, everyone's just looking at Larsa like, what are you trying to say? But like I said, Alexia's like, you don't know what Todd does for me. And Gertie chimes in kind of looking at Larsa like, yeah, what are you talking about? So they started to argue. Larsa's like, listen to me, my friend. Like, you don't listen. And Larsa's right. Alexia doesn't listen. Alexia listens to respond. But I wasn't mad at Alexia because I'm like, Alexia wasn't even giving you that energy. Larsa just wanted a moment. So Larsa gets pissed off. She's standing over Alexia, which I was surprised that Alexia didn't stand up. Because had it been me, I'd have told her, you need to sit down before I sit you down. Because don't stand over me when we arguing. Because I'm going to take it like you going to put hands on me. So she leaves. They slide back they walk through she goes back into the hotel room. Everyone's trying to like follow after Larsa. You got Lisa trying to hug Larsa, but I mean, like, why are you hugging her, Lisa? She the one who started the fight. So Lisa, Kiki, and Larsa are at the door. And Larsa's like, she's not understanding what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't have anybody to help me. She has a Todd to take care of her. And then she was like, I think Larsa was like, well, Lisa was like, we have like a Jody. And she was like, well, is Jody paying your bills, Lisa? And she was like, not really. And then Larsa was like, Marcus isn't paying my rent. And I'm like, Larsa, what is this about? Other than you wanting a moment, because I know you got a nice settlement from Scotty, and I'm not saying we haven't seen Larsa work, because she does work, but we know you still getting child support checks. They may have gone down because all your kids live in LA, but she was screaming about, like, I got 2 homes in LA. I have this, this, and this. And I'm like, Alexia says, because you want them. Like, if anything, you could be bi-coastal and like, we're not going to act like the girls don't always stay where they film. Like the girls on Basketball Wives, half of them didn't live in Miami or LA. They would either, like Tammy lived in Texas, and then when it was time to film, she would fly to LA to film for those 6 months or those 3 months and then go back home to her regular house. So I was like, Larsa, shut up. So they're arguing back and forth. You got Gertie trying to explain to Larsa, like, no, what you said was messed up because you're trying to act like she hasn't worked for what she has. And Larsa's getting mad. So then we just see Larsa and Alexia just arguing in the middle of the hotel room. You got Kiki in the confessional wiping her eyes with a dildo, talking about, like, you got Scotty's money and she got Todd. I have nothing. So what are we talking about? And then they end up ending the conversation and everyone going to their rooms. So it's the same day. The girls are getting ready to go out and do different things. We see Kiki, Adriana, and Julia go for her dance rehearsal because, you know, Emilio basically got her like a position in the like Pride Festival. Now, I don't understand why Adriana didn't show up like 3 days before if she knew in advance that she was going to be working at Pride, because I was like, that stage is huge, and I'm like, you want to put your best foot forward, because to me Adriana is like a halftime local artist. Like, girl, he's giving you this opportunity. Why didn't you come on time to actually learn to do the dance moves or have time to really practice? Because I think Kiki was like, they got 24 hours before Pride, and I'm like, and you now want to learn the dance moves? And they want to do this one move where they hoist her in the air and she's scared to do it. And I'm like, that's because you don't got practice. So we see the other ladies, which is Gertie, Larsa, Alexia, and Lisa, go to the bakery to get a cake for Julia and Kiki since it's their birthdays. And while they're there, Lisa is like, they end up like getting the cake and then they go like walking or ordering the cake. They go walking in a park and Lisa is commiserating about Lenny. And I had to laugh when Lisa was in her confessionals talking about, you know, you always got to get things in writing. Like, I'm trying to teach you guys how to, like, you know, like she was doing a PSA. And I was like, your family didn't teach you that? Because my mom has always been that, told me and my sister that, like, especially dealing with financial aid, if you're in school right now, or even when you're like going to the doctor, you always ask them for a copy. You always time and date like what you're writing. Even when I would work with would call about the financial aid, I would always get the person's full first and last name. I would get I would write down when I called them, and then I would always hit them with a follow-up email, because my mom was always like, you want a paper trail so you can always come back to it and be like, no, this is what you told me, because they will try you. Financial aid will try you, especially at a HBCU. Just a bunch of old people in there that just angry. They always got attitudes, y'all. They always do. God. So I was just looking at Lisa like, what? They suggested that she start texting, but I was listening to, I was talking about this online with one of my mutuals, and she explained to me that she's been in a divorce, and she was like, what she thinks is happening with Lisa is that her and Lenny will have these discussions about what's going to happen and how they're going to move forward. And she was like, Lenny is probably going back to his lawyer and telling him, like, this is what I'm agreeing to with Lisa. And the lawyer is telling her, nah, girl, no, that's not it. The lawyer is telling her, that's not it. Like, that's not what we doing. Or the lawyer's telling Lenny, that's not what we doing. And then when they get to mediation in front of each other, Lenny is switching up. And when she was saying that, I was like, oh, I can actually see that. Like, Lenny is probably going to consult his lawyers, because the lawyer at the end of the day is trying to make sure Lenny is not paying an arm and a leg for Lisa. But the crazy thing is, I think that man was trying to offer a settlement, like in the settlement that he buy like land and build a house for Lisa, or buy a tear down and rebuild it or remodel it for her. And I was like, if Lisa takes that, she's stupid. Because if this man is giving you the runaround right now, he's going to give you the runaround when it's comes time to build this house. It's just wild to me. But again, you notice when they were having that conversations, the ladies weren't really giving her like advice. They were just listening, because at this point, they don't want to argue with Lisa. They probably tired of hearing about Lenny. So the day is winding down, and Marisol is hosting like a mixer in the hotel lobby, and it was really cute. Marisol looked really cute in that blue outfit. She been looking really good lately. So we finally have a sit down between Kiki and Larsa, because Kiki's feelings are really hurt about the ladies not supporting them. And she thought Larsa was being hypocritical in the beginning of the episode, when she was like, these ladies aren't supporting me, and why wouldn't you want to support me? Because Kiki was like, well, I had something and y'all didn't want to support me. I think in that conversation, I just wanted Kiki to realize that Larsa is not your friend the way you think she is your friend. Like, Larsa to me is the type of person that, like, if the girl don't got money, or she's not attached to like a high profile man, she doesn't see value in them. And Kiki is not attached to a high profile man, and she don't have the coin. So, because Larsa also has been playing Kiki to the left. She starts bringing up about her antibiotics. Now, I have to give Larsa that we did find out last episode when they did was it last episode or the episode before last, that she had COVID. So I can get being groggy and uncomfortable, but I'm like, if you had enough energy to go to the what's it called? To the fashion show, I think you could have went to the after party for like 30 minutes and then rolled out, because Kiki looked so sad when it was just Julia and Adriana, because those are not her friends like that, and she expected everybody to come. She probably wanted them to film too, because the party was for the ladies. But Larsa says she gonna do better, and so they move forward. They all pile into the Sprinter, because for the night they're going to an artist's home who's gonna like paint for them. And so when they're on the Sprinter, they're talking about their different kinks, and Lisa's kink wasn't a kink. It kind of showed her immaturity when she was like, I like my man to act jealous. And I was like, girl, that's probably why you in the situation with Lenny, because you told Lenny you like for him to be jealous, or to give you something to be jealous about. And he went out here and got with all these other women. Like, it's giving that you wanted that. The relationship was giving toxic. It's giving toxic. Every time Lisa talks about this relationship with Lenny, it's giving toxic. And I always say, I don't get why she didn't see the writing on the wall. So they finally get to the artist's home. Adriana's being hypercritical of the guy's artwork, but it's to be expected. Adriana is an art snob because that's her niche, but she was like rude to him in some instances. I was just kind of like, girl, calm down. But they start playing truth or dare, and I forgot to mention that Kiki had told Gertie about Larsa doing that. I think it was like, was it a Page 6 article? Some interview where she was promoting her what's it called? Separation Anxiety podcast with Marcus, and she talked about like fake tears, and I guess that was a dig at Gertie when she was just like, she didn't know if the girl was being real or fake. So the girls are sitting at the table. They're playing truth or dare. And Gertie asked Larsa truth or dare. And Larsa said truth. So Gertie was like, is it true that you were bringing up about fake tears and it was directed at me, or talked about fake tears at your at your interview when you were promoting your podcast? And Larsa's like, yeah, I did, because I was just like, I didn't know if you were being real or fake with me. And then Gertie was like, everything on you is fake. Like, your body is 100% fake. Like, what are you talking about? So they're going back and forth. Now, in my mind, and for me, I think Gertie contradicted herself, because when she was yelling at the table saying Larsa holds on to things and doesn't let things go, I was like, Gertie, the same thing can be said about you. Now, do I feel like Gertie has a right to be mad at Larsa? Yes, but I think Gertie is not well at arguing, because if I was her, I would just lay out everything that I have an issue with. And the truth about it is, Gertie is mad that she told Larsa, I have cancer. And you went around and told everybody that that I had cancer and I told you not to tell. Then you were calling Nicole asking if it was true that Gertie had cancer. To now you can't apologize to me when I bring it up to you because you can't admit that you're wrong. And then on top of that, now you're doing a podcast saying that my tears are fake, or you felt like my tears were fake, while I'm sitting here fighting for my life. Like, girl, like, are you crazy? Like, are you slow? Are you stupid? Like, what's up with you? And I think that's what Gertie needs to say, because it's like you are holding on to it, Gertie. Just let it go and get it out. Cuss that lady out. Because, like, stop trying to be so, like, I think Gertie is the type of person that cares a lot about her image. So I really feel like that's why she doesn't want to, like, go off. But I'm like, at this point, sis, cuss her out. And the crazy thing is like, I get where Larsa is kind of coming from too. Like, she didn't know if Gertie's tears were real or fake. And I forget that Larsa was on the Kardashians, so she knows this reality TV game. So I think that when that whole situation happened, when her and Gertie were sitting down and Gertie started crying, I think she felt like Gertie was trying to paint her off right as the bad guy and not take accountability for the way Larsa feels like she was hurt by Gertie. But at this point, like, Larsa is just, she's not socially aware, because like production asked Marisol, like, would you argue with a lady going through chemo? And Marisol says no. And I think Marisol had a good assessment of Larsa. Is Larsa can't take accountability or apologize because she's always on the defensive. So she's always ready to fight somebody and prove her point. And that's the messed up part. Is like, girl, just say I'm sorry. Just say I'm sorry. Say I didn't mean it like that. Because, and it's the thing, it's like Larsa does not know how to read the room. Because if I was her, I would just be like, hey, Gertie, can we just, let's go sit out. Let's go sit down and talk. So just me, you, one-on-one, so we can really get to the root of the issue between us. Because I feel like there's more to why you're upset with me. And this could be fine, but Larsa just, like I said, she don't know how to read a room. So while they're arguing, the artist is painting. He start playing on the piano, and then the two dancers, they start to dance in the bunny mask, and the BDSM bunny mask start dancing. And I got so uncomfortable and confused. I said, what is going on? What is going on? But that's how the episode ended. All right, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Hop down in them comments below and give me your thoughts on Larsa versus Gertie, Larsa versus Alexia, and Larsa versus Kiki. Larsa was 3 for 3, but give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you like what you heard. And I'm out, y'all. Deuce.